Hello everybody, my name is Kevin Smith, and I have a few things to share with you today, including some real side dream experiences. Singing the New You song before bed and on waking will be not only the connection to the true light reality of the all is beyond creation, it will also allow the real universal guides to step in and assist us with the process of becoming more aware. As we become more aware, we better recognize this reality of the all is. And the New You song will open up our dream arena. Everybody will always have dreams, but the difference is we now begin to recognize these dreams as awareness-enhancing experiences and demonstrations that they are in fact. For life and the real universal guides are always trying to show us something, to demonstrate something that we need to know now. They will demonstrate these things on the physical life level, assuming we are paying attention, and the best way to remain in an attentive state is to stand in the new nowness of the all is, which is in creation now, and allows us to therefore stand in a place of detached indifference and objectivity. And it is from this place, from a place of real awareness, leaning towards our real self, even as we have a physical body here in creation and on the physical level, we can still be in the new nowness of the is now, and therefore all experiences that come our way are there for the purpose of becoming more aware. And so everything in our environment now is something we have set in motion through cause and effect in creation, and therefore it is not only something by which we can become aware of how the ideas and thoughts and feelings create our adventure and our journey, but we can continually make comparisons with all of our experiences. We can know what the is by realizing what it is not, as everything in creation is a projection, a layered filter on top of the true reality of the all is. If we take away everything in creation that stems from ideas that have been agreed from, including all the life levels and the body vehicles, then all that can be left is the is. We can practice this for ourselves. If we stop thinking, if we stop feeling, if we just see and be, we find that everything is still here. And this is a position of real awareness, as we have temporarily put aside the thoughts and emotions that project from our personal self. If we are no longer projecting from our personal self, if that is placed aside, therefore the mental and astral bodies are not being activated, then all that can be left is our real selves, and we can stand in the actuality of our real beingness. And from here we can view all experiences that come our way from the objective viewing position that will allow us the best chance to glean what life is showing us in every new now moment. And also on the real side, the New You song will allow the dream arena to open up, and the real universal guides will shape and manipulate our dream environment to afford us the experiences and demonstrations for which we can become more aware from and draw comparisons to recognize the true reality of the all is. Once again, the real guides cannot interfere with free will. Everybody, every individual throughout creation has free will, the right to decide and choose whatever they want, including the controllers, who wish to subjugate and destroy everything and everybody. Regardless of the nature of the choice, the individual has the right to choose this. There is no necessity to police these individuals or subjugate them to law, for cause and effect creation is in place, and whatever the individuals set in motion through the causes that they choose, they will experience the effects of. And this is how creation is. For if no experiences are created through our cause and effect choices that we make, then how can we glean any awareness-enhancing comparison information from these experiences? For experiences are essential in creation in order to recognize the true reality. The all is cannot be literally perceived. It cannot be fathomed out with the mind, the mental body, or we cannot feel what it is with our astral body. In fact, there is no way we can actually see it from our physical personal self. It is invisible to us. The only way to be with the is by recognition, and this is beyond the faculties of the body vehicles throughout the creational matrix that have only been created for the sole purpose of operating on the life levels they are designed for. They are not designed to be able to perceive the real universes. So this is a gradual unfolding, and the more we focus on the ears, the more our attention goes there and is diverted away from the personal little self and all that the personal self wants and desires. The more we share and earn our way, the more the ears shares with us and reveals itself to us, and gradually we are afforded a recognition of this true reality until the point where we completely recognize it, and therefore can stand real in the isness. And at that point we have superseded creation and no longer require the vehicles in the creational matrix, for they would have served their purpose. If we no longer need the experiences and the comparisons for recognition of the ears, because now we recognize it, then obviously we no longer need those vehicles, and so they will fade away. In the meantime, we are rather stuck with them, and so always there are two selves, the real self and the personal self. And we have to drag the personal self around with us. But if we have more focus on our real intent, which every individual has, whether they recognize this or not, and that is to recognize the true reality, for this in fact is the only reason we are in creation, then eventually we will not have the struggle with the personal self that we have now. The personal self will fade into the distance. It will always be there, but eventually we will supersede it and creation. But in the meantime, we need to get both the personal self and the real self on board and focused in the same direction, that of the recognition of the all is. And the only thing that will hinder and waylay this process will be our clinging onto emotional attachments and agreement to ideas. As we begin to release these, so do the filters from our ability to recognize the ears drop away, and eventually, with all the tap lines that stem from the emotional agreements and the agreed upon ideas removed, we will have nothing barring our way from the recognition of the is. But it is a monumental journey, and will take as much time as the individual decides it will, because everybody must work through their personal self and face themselves, their created personal self, and all of creation. And so the real side dream arena is designed for this purpose. It will demonstrate to us what we need to know now, and contained within every dream will be a gem, a nugget of information we need to know, to either assist us in becoming aware of that which we perhaps need to address now in regards to emotional attachments and created and ideas that we are agreeing to, but also we become aware of situations and individuals we need to be aware of also, in regards to their intent and their agendas, if they do indeed have any. So for my first dream, I found myself in a library. Generally, on the real side, the literal personal self, which is always along for the journey, will simply regard books as what they are, to its literal self-convinced self. The personal self will simply see them as they are. It will see everything in black and white, and so as far as the personal self is concerned, these are merely books. But for everything we see in our dream arena, there is always something behind what our literal senses tell us. Everything in the dream will be such, but everything in it represents and demonstrates something else. It is the real world. that is beneath the surface that we see, a little like the ears that is behind the created simulation of the psych realms that overlay it and prevent our recognition of it. The same in the dream arena. There is something real there, but it is hidden, concealed beneath an obscuring layer and filter of a literal imagery that we must see through and recognize what is being demonstrated. On this occasion, then, books generally represent references, old ideas. We can say that books will, on occasion, represent the Akashic records, which are found on the astral level. In the Akashic records are kept details of all our lifetimes. However, these can be tampered with, as they fall in the domain of the Kalam God. They can be interfered with and altered, so we can say they are not reliable, at least not 100%. The only reliable source of information, file-wise, would be the universal files, and these are found in the real universes. Naturally, the real guides will not allow anybody to view these. One must have sincerity and purity, and be of a nature and awareness that they would not use these for ill purposes. For imagine a controller getting his grubby hands on the universal files, which contain everything ever recorded. They could certainly use these for control purposes. But anyway, on this particular dream, in my library I found myself. These represented all the old ideas. As everything we have experienced in our lifetimes are stored in our causal memory body, which is on the third life level. And all this information can be old references, old ideas, and emotional attachments, and a lot of these old experiences we would have had ideas that we attached to the experience and then added emotion into the mix. And so a lot of these old stored experiences become emotionally charged ideas. And if we encounter these experiences again, we draw from our causal memory body the similar reaction again, as we tend to be routinary in how we deal with experiences. And unless something comes along, or something to do with the experience makes it so that our habitual response to it doesn't work, only then may we amend our reaction, and that will then change the way we possibly react to it in the future. And in my library I could see all these old ideas demonstrated as old books. All these books are references, as everything in creation is. Everything must reference something. Generally, everything in creation references creation, unless it references the real universes of the all-is, which most of creation does not. But the references are just that. They are references, and not the reality that they are hinting or referring to. And in my environment then were all these old, outdated ideas, demonstrated here by these old books, these old references. But they were in the backdrop, and seemingly not very vivid in this experience, and so I determined immediately what they represented. And then, as I was looking around this library, I became aware I was holding a trolley, and it contained books. When it comes to these old books, these old references, yes, they can serve a purpose, they can provide insights and information, but like a library, it's best to return the books and not carry them around with us, or we are effectively carrying ideas and clinging to them, and they act as further filtering layers, which prevent us from recognizing the true reality. The more ideas and thoughts and emotions we carry with us, the more it prevents us from being in the new nowness of the is, and standing real with our real awareness. And so it's always best, once you have gleaned what you will from these old references, to return them to the bookshelf. But on occasion we find we inadvertently might pick up ideas or become attached to something and not realize it. This is because we are constantly bombarded with ideas every moment. There are so many subliminals in creation, the programming is so intensive and all prevalent, as we get programmed on the ethereal life level, and even if we have the awareness and are connected to our real selves beyond creation, our personal vehicle is still being programmed on the ethereal life level. And as we will still be carrying the personal self around until we need the physical vehicles no longer, we are going to be affected to a degree by the programming, the subliminal programming, and all the ideas we are bombarded with on a day-to-day basis. And so it's very easy to pick up a few ideas and carry them around with us. The difference being, of course, we are conscious of this process. As we are more aware, this allows us to recognize and realize the ideas we are picking up. For if you stand in your awareness and then you drop out of your awareness and return to your personal self, you will notice the difference. This acts as a comparison again. You begin to feel the difference, or you are aware of the difference between being more in the personal self or being more in your real self, and all the degrees and nuances in between. And so, if you feel you have slipped a little from your state of awareness, there will be something causing this to be so. So it's worth going through your vehicles to determine what it could possibly be. If it's not something you are choosing to agree to, or some emotion or thought you are projecting at this current time or new moment, then it's very likely that some subliminal is pestering you. Maybe some thought form or other, or the influence tugging on your personal self. Sometimes I will find this myself. As I am going through my day-to-day activities, I will find that I have slipped slightly from my usual state of general awareness. So something is pestering or bothering me, and sometimes I can find that my personal self is being enticed by something. The nature of it is not always clear, but I find that if I simply be, then this influence effect will pass by. And this dream demonstrated this, I would say, that that regardless of the source of the agreement that we may have taken on, the difference is now in our state of awareness. We won't simply agree to the ideas, forget about them, they become unconscious, and then they remain restricting us forevermore. We can instantly become aware of something, an idea, an emotion, a thought, or something stemming from the influence or a thought form that is affecting us, especially if we always endeavour to remain in the new nowness of the all is, and lean as much as we are able toward our real self and real awareness. Then we can become aware of all that which is impacting us, and release it just as quickly as it attached. For there will always be tap lines connecting to us. It is impossible to go through or be in creation without having a tap line to something. But not all tap lines are to be concerned over, as everyone will have tap lines regardless of their degree of awareness, particularly in creation, but these are more manageable and not to be concerned over. And on this case, in my dream, when I realised these books were an idea that I had for whatever reason agreed to, I instantly set fire to the books, and they were engulfed in flames, and then I was no longer holding any books or having any books in my immediate vicinity, apart from in my environment, but I wasn't carrying them around with me any longer. I had recognised these ideas that I had, for whatever reason, agreed to, and had instantly released them just as readily, setting fire to the books. And I will leave it there for today. I did intend to share a few other dreams, but I will leave them for another time. All that remains is to sing the New You song. New You, you. I will speak with you soon.